5 rules to find and leave your spark as a Christian leader. Ito po applicable sa lahat ng leadership. If you're leading sa opisina, if you're a boss or a chief, or if you are leading sa any courses sa eskwelahan, so whatever leadership thing that you are doing, napakaganda, no? Kasi nakaka-boring talaga, nakaka-buwisit at nakaka-discourage ang leadership. There will be always a lot of obstacles sa leadership. Kaya nga yung iba pagka hindi na kaya, just ayaw na nila. And they just babagsak na lang nila yung tools nila and says, ayoko na. Ganon talaga ang characteristic most of the time ng leadership. Pero sa biblical concept, meron tinatawag na merong leadership na hindi magbe-burn out. Yeah, we have examples even in the past. Moses, for example, o kaya David. Merong leadership na talagang hanggang wakas, hanggang huli, hanggat hindi mo nakakamit yung gusto mong makamit. And so, here are some biblical principle. We talked about rule number 1, of course. Rule number 1 is press toward your goal. Press toward your goal. Regardless of the obstacles na nakikita mo, in a very layman language, get what you want. What do you want? What you really want? Ano yung goal mo talaga na isinet mo sa buhay mo coming from the Lord? So get it. Focus on it. Focus. Marami mga tao daw, ang mga pinofocus nila, hindi yung sa mga gusto nilang gawin, kundi doon sa mga barricades, doon sa mga obstacles that prevent them from getting what they want. Alam niyo yan? Now, let me give you a short example kasi may nakita akong illustration doon. Nakita niyo yung woman with the issue of blood. Nakita niyo yun, right? So, gusto niya, isa lang ang gusto niyang gawin. She just wants na hawakan ang laylayan ni Christ. Yun lang ang gusto niya. Hawakan ko yung laylayan ni Christ. Now, the question is, ano ang mga nakita niya? Look at this. May nakita siya din Una yung crowd. Sinisiksik si Christ. Hindi. Grabe naman yung napakadaming tao. Paano kung hawakan? Paano kung lalapit sa kanya? Hindi ko magagawa. So, nakita niya yun. Tinignan niya rin yung ano na yun yung mga obstacles na yun, yung crowd. So, natatakot siya, baka sagasaan siya dahil mahina siya Definitely mahina siya. Baka masagasaan siya ng crowd o baka mamaya tabigin siya ng crowd. Definitely mahulog siya pagkat aapak-apakan na lang sila. Second, yung batas ng Leviticus, doon sa batas ng Leviticus, pagka ang isang babae ay inaagasan, especially pagka meron siyang period, bawal siya marumi sa harap ng lahat ng mga tao. Hindi siya pwedeng pumunta sa palengke, hawakan yung mga pamilya. No, hindi. Because she is considered unclean. That's the word. Unclean. And so, mas lalong hindi siya pwedeng humawak doon sa mga tao at makipagsiksikan doon sapagkat, uy, kilala ko itong babaeng ito, madumi ka. Huwag mo kaming, definitely, ganun na mangyayari. Yun ang isang obstacle na po pwedeng mangyari sa kanya. Yung Levitical law. Mas lalo pa si Kristo hahawakan niya. Di mas lalo pa yon na isang obstacle para gawin niya yung gusto niya. Pero look at this. In spite of the fact na may mga barriers at barricades at obstacles doon sa kanya, basta hahawakan ko ang laylayan ni Christ. He went through. Hindi natin alam kung paano, pero sumiksik talaga siya. Wala siyang pakialam kung sinong tamaan niya. And that is leadership. Huwag mong tingnan ang mga obstacles dun sa gusto mong gawin sapagkat pinagkaloob sa'yo. Press toward your goal in spite of all those obstacles. So, marami kang wants na gusto mangyari sa buhay mo as a leader. So, gawin mo bawat isa and get what you want. Do not focus on things that prevents you from getting what you want. Get what you want. The second is, be the last to speak. Be the last to speak is the very nice example of leadership. Nakita natin itong example sa banal na kasulatan. Slow to speak. Ano ba yan? Ang sabi doon ay, it's a simple word. The simple word is this. Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak. Kasi mga leaders, tandaan nyo to yung mga leaders kasi palaging gusto na una magsalita yon, mali pala yon. Kasi tayo, punong-puno tayo ng mga plans, kanya gusto natin palagi mag-present ng presentation. Gusto natin nagsasalita lang, tayo lang nagsasalita. No, ang magandang leader daw is this. Siya yung huling nagsasalita. Slow to speak, but fast to listen. Nakita natin yung example na ito nangyari kay Nelson Mandela. Si Nelson Mandela nung maliit, sumasama siya sa meeting ng mga tatay niya. Yung tatay niya po ay isa sa mga head ng tribo sa panahon na sa South Africa. Siya po yung head ng tribo. Ang mga meeting po pala noon ay nakasirkel. Yung mga tauhan ng tatay niya. And pag nag-start yung meeting, yung tatay niya hindi nagsasalita. Basta sabihin lang yung issue. And then, hindi siya nagsasalita. Ang pinagsasalita niya ay lahat ng mga nakaikot. At pagka nakapagsalita na lahat ng ikot, at saka nagsasalita yung tatay niya. So yun daw ang natutunan niya. And that's a good principles dun sa James na slow to speak. Slow to speak. Huwag ka magsasalita agad. Bakit? Kasi pagka ikaw ang huling nagsalitang, pinauna mo sila, unang-una, magandang influence yun. Bakit? Kasi pinakikinggan mo muna lahat eh. Yun ang influence. Ang pinakamasarap na tao sa lahat, yung pinakikinggan ka. Right? Pag pinakinggan mo, yung influence yung malaki. And secondly, pagka pinakinggan mo sila, yung solusyon, lahat na nasabi na nila. Kanya ikaw, huli ka magsasalita, actually, ang sasabihin mo, galing doon sa sinabi din nila. And that's a good point sa leadership. Be the last to speak. And the third is this. Sinasabing, take care of your team. Ang isang magandang leader, inaasikaso yung interest ng iba. That's hindi lang yung sarili mong interest, kundi mas higit yung interest ng iba. Yeah, we thought of that. We thought about that. Yung, kasi naging example natin dito yung elite na army ng Amerika, which is actually the Navy SEAL. Napakahirap pumasok sa Navy SEAL. May minsan nga nagtanong, di ba? Ang sabi niya, sinong pumapasa sa Navy SEAL? Ang sagot ng mga nandun sa loob ng Navy SEAL, hindi namin alam kung sinong pumapasa, pero alam namin yung mga hindi pumapasa. Sino raw hindi pumapasa sa Navy SEAL? Ito. Una, yung pong mga malalakas, yung mga MMA champion na yan, hindi yung siguradong papasa sila. Kahit na nag-champion pa sila sa MMA o kaya sa boxing o kaya sa wrestling o sa judo. Hindi yung marunong, hindi yung matalino. Hindi rin yung mga gwapo o tsaka mga maskulado. Hindi. Sino pumapasa? Ang pumapasa daw, ito. Yung kahit na pagod na sa training at may mga kasama sila na nandun at nahihirapan sa likod, binabalikan nila yun at tinutulungan. Yun daw ang pumapasa. Sana gano'n ang prinsipyo ng leadership natin. Yung hindi yung, ako ang pinakamagaling. No. Dapat aalalayan niya yung mga kasama niya. That's leadership. That's leadership. Now, let me give you the fourth. Now, this fourth is going to be something na sana maikaka. Alright? Ready na kayo sa number 4. Number 4 is this. Take accountability. Ang isang magandang leader takes accountability. Sometimes, you're the problem. Napakahirap nun na lang. Ako may kasalanan. Bihirang leadership ang umaamin nun. Na sometimes, sabi mo, ako ang problema. Sa Matthew 7, 3-5, sabi ganito, "Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own?" Bakit tinitingnan mo yung puwing ng iyong kapwa, pero hindi mo makita yung tahilan? Alam mo yung ibig sabihin ng tahilan? Yung tahilan daw po, yun na yung malaking lag. Exaggeration yun eh. Nandyan sa harapan mo. Isang mahalagang aspeto ng leadership is yung titingnan mo sa sarili mo sa mga situations na nagkakaroon ng problema. One of the hardest truth in leadership is this: the issue is not always out there. Sometimes the issue is you. We love to diagnose system, criticize people, and blame circumstances. Yun ang paborito natin eh. Gusto natin i-diagnose, ano ba mali ito? System? O kaya, siguro yung mga taong walang ginawa kundi manira na lang sa atin. O kaya, circumstances, bagyo. O kaya, but Scripture calls leader to something deeper. Ang tawag dito is self-examination. So dapat maging aware tayo na before God fixes the team, before He changes the culture, before He removes the obstacle, He often starts with the leader. Now, sa history, merong nangyari, gusto kong ibigay na illustration to. In the 18th century, a deadly epidemic called the Black Death of childbirth spread throughout Europe. Yun yung napakatindi nun. The Black Death of childbirth. Bakit matindi? Sapagkat sa mga hospital, up to 70% of women died after giving birth. 70%. So, ibig sabihin, sa 100, 70 patay. Pagka mantaki mo manganganak ka lang, mamamatay ka. Doctors search for external causes. They studied corpse in the morning, then delivered babies in the afternoon without washing their hands. So naghahanap sila ng mga causes. So habang naghahanap sila, nag-o-autopsy sila ng mga patay, pero hindi sila pagkas magpapaanak sila, hindi sila naghuhugas ng kamay. It goes on for 30 years. Now, Dr. Oliver Wendell Holmes, kilala niyo to, magaling na writer ito, stood up and said, "Gentlemen, you are the problem." Kayo ang problema, kanya nagkakaroon ng ganitong epidemic na halos lahat ng pinanganganak ninyo na nandun sa operating table na yun e namamatay because hindi kayo naghuhugas ng kamay. The breakthrough didn't come from for 30 years, no one listened until finally someone washed their hands and the deaths stopped. So the breakthrough didn't come from new sources. It came from owning the responsibility. Sometimes you are the problem. And that should always be the thought of every leaders na pagka may mga nangyaring hindi magaganda, doon sa punto ng pinangungunahan mo, it's always this. Baka ako ang may kasalanan. O kaya, kasalanan ko. Take the responsibility. And magandang leadership yun. Because, sabi sa Proverbs 28:13, whoever conceals their sin does not prosper. Pag tinatago mo, kinoconceal mo, tinatanggi. You cannot grow a healthy team with an unexamined heart. You cannot demand accountability, you refuse to model. Kung hindi mo bibigyan ng halimbawa, yung punto ng responsibility na yon, sabihin mong kasalanan ko. Sinong leader magsasabi ng kasalanan ko? Amin na yung kasalanan niya yung situations. Strong leaders protect their image. Yun ang strong leaders. Pinoprotect yung image niya. Pero great leaders protect their integrity. Sometimes, repentance is not dramatic, but it's practical. It's humble. And it says, Lord, search me first. Siguro yung dapat panalangin mga leaders, Lord, Search me first. Kasi sometimes you are, or we are the problem. So take responsibility. Take accountability. Let me give you the fifth. All right, this fifth is very important sa leadership. Simple lang, stay humble. Napakasimple, no? Mga magulang at mga kapatid, ako po yung humble. Grabe. Yung puntong yun, kayabangan pa rin eh. So, I think yung word na stay humble, galing sa puso mismo at hindi mo sinasabi sa iba. And let them just discover who you are. Luke 14:11 says, "For all who exalt themselves will be humbled." All who exalt themselves. Yun na yung batas magmula pa nung unang panahon. Sapagkat pagka ikaw ay mababang tao, may karunungan ka. That's it. It is fake. So success tests your characters more than failure ever will. Ano yan? Success will test your character more than failure will. So kaya pagka ikaw yung nagtatagumpay, careful. Kasi tsak na magiging batayan at resources din sa mga speech mo. Ako po 5 taong nag-aral ng okay, 12 years na po ako sa Sometimes yung mga success na yon is actually problema yon sa humility. Kanya mas maganda yung failure eh. Kasi pag nag-fail ka, na it will make you humble. Humble. All right. As your influence grow, so does the temptation to believe that the applause is for you. But leadership comes with a dangerous illusion. Look at this. You can start believing the privilege belongs to the person when it actually belongs to the position. Gusto ko maintindihan ninyo yun. Ulitin ko dahil dapat makita natin to. Merong isang illusion ng leadership when you start believing the privilege belongs to the person when it actually belongs to the position. Alright, bigyan ko yung example. A former Undersecretary of Defense once shared this story. So, siya ay dating Undersecretary of Defense ng Amerika. Alright? Sinare niya itong story din. Last year, I came as Undersecretary of the United States Defense. I flew business class. Business class, yung aeroplane. Tayo, economy lang lagi eh. No? Pero siya, business class. Chauffeured, may driver na sumundo, escorted backstage, and handed a coffee in a beautiful ceramic cup. Undersecretary, natural, yung pinakamagandang ceramic cup ang ibinigay sa kanya. And then sabi niya, this year, I'm no longer Undersecretary. Pero in-invite pa rin siya. Hindi na siya Undersecretary. I flew coach. So hindi na executive. Doon lang siya sa mumurahin. Took a taxi dahil wala nang sumundo sa kanya. Checked myself in and poured my own coffee into a styrofoam cup. Kaibahan nun, undersecretary siya, no? Executive yung flight. Pag sinusundo siya ng chauffeur, siguro limousine pa yung sundo niya. Pagkatapos, ini-escort siya dun sa building. And then, pagkatapos, sir, pinakamagandang cup dun sa hotel, bibigay sa kanya. Ngayon, laki ng kaibahan. Ito sabi niya, the ceramic cup was never meant for me. It was meant for the position I held. I deserve a styrofoam cup. Stay humble. Because you deserve the styrofoam cup. You deserve the styrofoam cup. Pinakamagandang leader yon, yung mababa. Nakakabuisit sundin yung mayabang. Ha? Nakakabuisit. Pero if you want yung spark, hindi mawawala sa'yo. So, take the responsibility, take the accountability, and then stay humble. Stay humble. That is wisdom. Si Jesus Christ, gano'n nga, Christ made himself of nothing. Grabe, grabe yung salitang yan. He made himself of nothing. Ano, makakita ng ganun katinding leader na makikita mo. Siya na bilang Diyos, He made himself of nothing. God is not impressed by titles. He is drawn by humility. Enjoy the blessings, receive the honor, but never confuse flat form with identity. When the title is gone, when the seat is empty, when the cup is a styrofoam, your character should remain unchanged. Ke maganda pang cup yan, o styrofoam cup yan, dapat hindi mag-change yung character mo. Because humility is not thinking less of yourself. So what is humility? It's remembering who everything belongs to. Now, in conclusion, dito lang gagawin kong conclusion sa inyo. And I guess, marami ding katotohanan na binabanggit ito. And it's just a story na simple at maikli lang. Two lumberjacks. Alam niyo yung lumberjacks, right? Alam niyo, walang problema din sa lumberjack. Yun ang puputol ng kahoy ng mga puno. Two lumberjacks work at the same time every day and stop at the same time every night, but one disappears for an hour each afternoon, yet always chops more wood. Pareha sila ng gamit, na chainsaw, or palakol. Pareha sila the same time every day, parehas, and stop at the same time every night, but one disappear for an hour. So in other words, mas maraming oras na ginagawa. Isa tumatakas isang oras siya dire-diretso. Pero, yung palaging nawawala ng isang oras, mas maraming kahoy na napuputol. So finally, the others ask, how do you do more when you work less? How do you do more when you work less? Now, listen to the sagot, and this is wisdom. The answer, I go home and sharpen my axe. Grabe, siya gawa ng gawa. Yung isang oras, wala. Siya hindi tumitigil, pero siya hinahasa niya raw yung kanyang palakol. Grabing katotohanan to sa lahat ng leader sa inyo. It's not always work. It's not always work. It's not always leadership. And in fact, maski nga dito sa punto sabi nga dapat hindi lahat mag-aaral ka na lang ng sermon o kaya na as a minister. So dapat then, if you want to keep your spark, press forward, care for others, listen deeply, own your mistake, walk humbly, and regularly sharpen your axe. Tanong naman dito ngayon, paano ba sinasharp ang axe mo, ikaw leader? Paano? Dalawa lang ang bagay na alam ko. You sharpen your axe when you spend time with God once in your life. Dun sa work mo, medyo takasan mo. And stay there in His presence. Kahit na wala kang gawin, basta iniisip mo lang, o nananalangin ka, o kaya magbuklat ka ng mga salita na just stay there. And communicate with God in your devotional life. And second, spend time with your family. If you want to sharpen your axe, spend time with your family. Lalo na yung mga maliliit na bata dyan, na medyo malilikot. Kami nga ng Tita Gina nyo, si Gina, sana wag na kayo lumaki. Ayun. Kasi kasarap kasama nila dahil paglaki dito, lalayasan ka na So hanggat maliliit sila, listen to this, hanggat maliliit sila, spend time with your family. Kung gusto mo maging isang magandang leader, I tell you, you will be a good leader if you sharpen your axe every day of your life. And that is Christian leadership, the biblical way. Let's all stand up. Father, our Father in heaven, Lord, maraming salamat po sa isang maikling mga salita. Every bit of the words ay nagsasalita sa bawat isa sa amin because we are naturally leaders. We just some of us just won't admit that in their life, but they are. Lord, sana mga leadership principles na ito mamutawi sa aming mga puso that we are to press toward our goal. Hindi kami titingin dun sa mga balakid, sa alip. Kahit na may balakid, we'll still press forward. And we will take care of our team. We will take care of our brethren na kasama namin sa leadership. Hindi sila iiwan. They will be not left out. No matter what, we will support and we will care for their interests and well-being as well. And Lord, let us be eager to listen more than to speak. And influence others through hearing from them. And then Lord, we pray that we may always stay humble, take responsibility and accountability with every job that fails. Help us always to examine ourselves and be responsible as leaders. And most of all, Father, put this into our thoughts that sometimes it's okay to disappear, to sharpen our eyes, to have communion with you, and to enjoy our family. We honor you, Father, and thank you so much for this wisdom. Ang biyaya ng ating amang sumasalangit, ang pag-ibig ni Kristo, at ang ilaw at ang law ng Espiritu Santo ay sumatin. Yun ang lahat